we can even record it so that you could go back and sort of do it on your own and play it if you want. Are you taking any nootropics or supplements for brain function?
I'm not.
So that's smaller. I like getting the habits in first, and then, because then when you've got like the right habits and then you put supplements in there, it can add gasoline to the fire.
Okay.
A lot of times, like if you do the supplements first, you're missing out on way more upside by not having the habits.
Yeah.
But there are a few. So I keep a couple by my desk. Have you ever heard of the racetams?
I have not.
Okay. Let me get some of these drinks out of the way. So the most studied and effective nootropics or smart drugs are this family called racetams.
Okay.
So this is one called piracetam.
Okay.
And then this is the other called aniracetam. Those are the two main ones.
Okay.
That I would test first, that work well for most people. The company that makes them is called Pure Nootropics. PRENOOTROPICS. And what you would do is you would get the way that they work. There's a few different facets. They work on the cholinergic system in the brain, so it's important to take Jarrow. They make something called alpha GPC. So you would take 1 capsule of the Jarrow alpha GPC per day, and that's going to provide your brain with higher choline levels. Okay. Because if you decide you want to test nootropics, they're going to burn through your choline at a faster rate. So if you're not also supplementing on a long timeline, you could end up in a slight deficit, which isn't good either.
Okay.
But when you take the alpha GPC, then a couple days a week, you can take 1 or 2 capsules of the piracetam or 1 or 2 capsules of the aniracetam. And there's dosing schedules and things like that online. I like finding the minimum effective dose that gives you a little bit of a boost. And those,
so are these natural or are they chemical?
Yeah, they're natural. They're in the category of, like, it's in the supplement category, but it's kind of in the gray area where it's like not yet. It's not allowed in the US, but you can order them and they're safe. They've been used for like 30 years. It's not like, we're not talking about like Adderall or Ritalin or Vyvanse here. And they work by increasing blood flow in the corpus callosum, which is like, it connects the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So by increasing blood flow there, we have heightened creativity, better task switching, improved verbal articulation and recall. And that can be a very easy hack for a lot of people. If you didn't want to go with any of the racetams, I would just do something simple, like take that Jarrow alpha GPC that I mentioned, which is just a choline donor. Yeah. And I would probably get like Jarrow Brain Boost, which is just theobromine from cacao and a few other compounds that can be helpful. And all natural. That would definitely be worth testing. I mean, the first time that I took piracetam, I felt like a genius. But I also didn't know all the things that I now know. I wasn't taking a choline donor, so I was just taking it like, I was like, I want to feel like this every day. So I just took it every day, and then like 3 months in, I was like not feeling so great. I noticed an actual like effect on the other end of the spectrum, where I felt kind of tired and I felt like I had brain fog. Yeah. And I was like, I just burned through all my choline over 3 months, and then I needed to supplement some of that. Exactly. So that's an option. Have you ever done CBD?
I have not. No. I was kind of reading up on it. It seems to have like some mixed reviews, right?
It's it could go either way. Like
Yeah.
for me, there's like one strain of cannabis that I smoke it and I get in the zone and
Yeah.
I can just work for hours and hours and hours. And it's like, I don't experience that point where things kind of drop off.
Yeah.
Kind of like relaxed and in this flow state and enjoying it. It's like, it almost becomes like a game. But if you give me just about any other type of cannabis, like it's going to be the opposite.
Yeah.
You know, and it won't happen. And even in CBD has a similar effect where some you'll probably respond very favorably to, and some you probably won't. So I hesitate to recommend that because there could be a few days where you're like, that didn't work for me at all.
Yeah.
You know, it took a good amount of experimenting with different strains to find the one that works very, very well for me. And they just got it in Florida. So like I go and I get my Florida medical cannabis card just to get this one strain. And that's pretty much the only one that I use.
Oh, wow.
But I don't think that's the highest leverage option for you.
Okay.
The only other two that I had, and then we can kind of dive into questions or
Yeah.
We
were going to do morning routine. So I have some other to do. And I sent you an email. I don't know if you had an opportunity to check, but with my blood glucose story. So that way you wouldn't have to write it down. I just kind of emailed it to you. That was homework I had.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
So aerobic, at this stage, the aerobic is sounding like the best option for me right now in terms of kind of testing it out.
I think that's the best option. And,
right.
And it could be like just integrating it into your morning workout. It may even be that you've got your morning workout and then you have a 5 to 15 minute cardio break in the afternoon.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you go a little bit longer on the rebounder, or you know, we have the one that I didn't mention is also the cold. But like if I hit a wall, and like I hit walls sometimes too. If I hit a wall, I'll go jump in that freezer out back that's 40 degrees, and I'll do a 3 to 5 minute cold plunge.
Yeah.
And, you know, head, everything. And then maybe, you know, get a minute or two in the sun.
Yeah.
Back in, and I feel great. So things like that work well, but in the afternoon, my instinct is cardio, cold, or breath work will probably be the best for you.
So what would be the breath work? So I think the cardio and the breath work are the two that I'm kind of leaning towards.
Yeah, we'll do the breath work together. The last two things I wanted to mention that like they may not be a fit now, but we've got a lot of our athletes doing exercise with oxygen therapy. Okay. Like the Live O2. So 2 days a week they'll do intervals where they'll either do like a really, really hard they'll basically are you familiar with EWOT, exercise with oxygen?
I'm not.
All right. So it's like a form of interval training where basically you fill this bag up with pure oxygen. So Live O2 makes this machine that condenses oxygen from the air, fills a bag. And let's say you get on like an Airdyne bike, or you could do a treadmill, but you know, it's kind of got to be a stationary piece of cardiovascular equipment. And you warm up, you get into your target heart rate zone, maybe 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. And then you would go for 4 minutes at high oxygen at a very low level of intensity, right? And then you would flip it and you would go at low oxygen, high intensity for 45 seconds and really, really push and create where like your mitochondria and your cells are just starving for oxygen. And as soon as you finish, you flip it back to high oxygen and breathe, like flood your body with oxygen. This type of training is like been shown very effective for not only fat loss, but also energy production in the mitochondria, for blood glucose management. So twice a week, we have a lot of our athletes doing that. And so they'll do one of two different types of interval workouts that we put together and that have been shown in the scientific literature to be effective. And that can be great for energy and longevity and some of these other things that are important to you. I don't know if that's the thing right now, because there is a cost associated with getting.
How much does the machine cost?
couple $1,000. I think it's like, $1,500, $2,000.
Okay. And you can carry it with you to the gym or no?
No, you would
do it at your place. You would get
you
the
would do it at your place. Yeah, you would do it at your place. But a lot of our athletes are on that, and like even a lot of entrepreneur clients have been getting it because
and seeing benefits.
Yeah. I mean, between us, like Duncan Keith, he's got 3 Stanley Cups, one of the best defensemen in the NHL. Like he swears by it, loves the thing. And he uses it twice a week, no matter what. And then the last one was, there's something called Holosync.
Holosync.
HOLOSYNC. It's like an audio entrainment program for meditation.
Okay.
And I could see you using that with your meditations and getting heightened benefit, but they also have tracks for creative work.
Okay.
So like you mentioned white noise and things like that. It would be like that on steroids, but you could put on headphones and listen to Holosync while you do work and see if that gets you greater benefits. And then what we'll do is I'll run to the bathroom. We can kind of run through any questions and then do some breath work as an example, if that sounds good.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. So any questions on those suggestions or anything?
So not at the moment, but I am going to implement and then I'll have. So the 2 I'm really going for right now are the aerobic and the breath work. Those seem like I lean more towards habits than kind of supplementation. Mm-hmm. So because those are things I can do long term, without having to kind of worry about side effects or anything.
Yeah, for sure.
Will the aerobic make me lose muscle or no?
So if you do it at that very low intensity,
which for me is 136 to 146.
Yeah. Right? And you can go by feel too and just make sure that they correlate. Yeah. It shouldn't, especially if you're getting enough calories. Like it should be pretty freaking easy.
Okay.
And most of the time, sometimes I'm jogging at an incredibly slow rate to hit those targets, but also not lose muscle. Because if I start pushing faster, that's when we get the cortisol and that catabolic effect that we're trying to avoid.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So you want to try some breath work?
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll do 3 rounds here, so you can get a sense for it, and that should be enough. You can do 5, but I think we're going to try to be as time conscious as possible. So it may even be one of those cases where 1 round is enough for you during the day. The goal here is as follows. You want to think in terms of your mouth is open. We're actually going to be breathing through the mouth for this. So it's the opposite of like what we're doing with cardio.
Okay.
Your jaw is relaxed. The more your mouth is open, the more air you can quickly get into your body and down into your lower belly.
Okay.
So that first step is almost allowing yourself to be breathed and pulling the air in quickly, and filling every inch of your lungs and even stretching your lungs a little bit. So like as you do this exercise, you're trying to expand your lungs capacity to hold oxygen. So the in-breath looks a little bit like this. And then you let it release and you let the tension kind of just fall away. And we're gonna like start slow and gradually pick up the pace. So let's try it again, all the way in. Imagine this. Imagine you've been underwater and you're dying for oxygen, but you're 30 feet underneath the surface. You're swimming toward the surface. You break the surface and you take a huge gasp of air. That's kind of what the in-breath is like. So, okay, and then let it fall away. Try to make it a little deeper and a little longer. Good. A little deeper, a little longer. Good. Stretch the lungs a bit, expand them widthwise. Good. Now sort of picture your whole torso, your belly, your lungs, everything, expanding like a balloon, 360 degrees. So forward and back, side to side, massive, massive expansion. Ready? As much as you can, all the way in, 100%. Good. All right. Now the last part, we're going to connect the inhale to the exhale, which brings a presence practice, a consciousness practice to the breathing. So there's no starting or stopping. It's continuous. The inhale is 100%. The exhale is only about 30%. So it's just a release and letting go of tension in the body and the mind. So good. Keep it continuous, keep it cyclical, and relax. Did you feel any state change in the body?
Yeah.
A little bit lightheaded?
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit almost like you're high, but not high?
Yep.
Any negative changes?
No negative changes.
No? Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 30 breaths like that,
Okay.
roughly. Actually, what we'll do is you're going to kind of guide me. I'm going to lead you through the breath work. When you start feeling the effect, just raise your hand so I can see it on the screen. That's it.
Okay. When you say effect, what effect are we talking about? Lightheaded or?
That lightheadedness, maybe even some tingling
yeah.
in the hands or like tightness in the face. All those things are normal and safe and a part of the process. When you're feeling like that, you kind of raise your hand.
Okay, got it.
So I can see. All right, ready? Here we go. Good, all the way in. Keep them connected. Really focus on filling those lungs to 100% of their capacity. Really get it in, fill those lungs. 10 more. Load up. Let's go. Pick up the pace. Oh.
That was 10, and I can feel it.
All the way in. Release and hold. Now you're going to hold your breath as long as you possibly can. You're going to challenge yourself until you get to the point where you start feeling like you need to breathe. But in that moment, you're going to exhale with a hiss to completely empty the lungs. And then you're going to hold a little bit longer. Imagine yourself swimming from one end of the pool to the other. You need to hold your breath until you get to the other end of the pool. So really challenge yourself here. Increase your mitochondria's capacity to intake oxygen and some of the upregulations that will occur to improve your blood oxygen saturation the rest of the day. Remember, you hold until you cannot hold any longer, and then you hiss, completely empty the lungs, hold a little bit more, and then when you need to breathe, take the biggest, deepest breath you've taken, and then you hold that. All the way in, all the way in, all the way in, all the way in, lock it in, mouth closed, tongue on the roof of your mouth. Now squeeze every muscle in your body, and starting with the bottom of the kundalini, like your Kegel muscles, squeeze, and imagine that energy ascending up the chakra centers of your body all the way to the top of your head with your eyes closed. Look to your third eye and send the energy there. Make your intention to send the energy to the top of your head and feel it, see it flowing up from your root chakra to the top of your head. Squeeze harder, flex harder. 3 more, 2. Every muscle in your body should be flexed. 1, now release. Let it go. How do you feel?
Feel great.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Any questions?
So 30 breaths is where it starts. Is that right?
Roughly. Some
Okay.
people it's 30, some people it's 50.
Okay.
So what I usually do is you get to that point where you're like, oh yeah, I feel it. And then you do 10 more real good ones.
Okay.
Like you pick up the pace a little bit, you go a little bit deeper, you try to expand your lungs a little bit more. And that's sort of the process that I recommend. And then you hold, and then you empty the lungs and continue to hold. And then when you got nothing left, then you take that huge breath, you flex everything, you ascend your energy, you expend energy to create more energy in the body, and then you go into the next round. You know, normally we wouldn't have discourse in between, but it's important to make sure that you know you don't have questions and everything like that.
Yeah. So okay. So you do 3 rounds of this, basically.
Yeah, you can, and you'll find like maybe 1 round is enough.
Yeah.
But you may also find that like you need 2 or 3.
Okay. Is this Wim Hof breathing or what? What is this?
Yeah, this is similar to Wim Hof breathing. So this is
Okay.
like Tumo breathing that the monks do. Wim kind of borrowed a lot of it from them, and
Okay.
and then brought it to the mainstream culture. So that's sort of the process that we're doing here, and it's a little bit more condensed. Where like the feeling that you experienced, right? That would be times 10 if we did a session for 35 to 45 minutes and almost completely straight a lot of the time. Maybe a couple holds in there, but that's like when I do that, sometimes I'm euphoric and feeling great for 4 to 6 hours, sometimes the rest of the night afterwards. But it takes longer, right? You can do
So you actually do this for 30 to 45 minutes sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. That's my favorite way to do it, but it's much more infrequent because most of the time when I'm doing it, I'm guiding other people through it. Yeah. So I'm only able to go a little bit as deep. Yeah. So I've actually got a buddy here, and I'll sometimes have him come and like just guide me through it so that I could really go deep and get into it and kind of find that flow state and not have to think and articulate things. And then sometimes I'll put on audio tracks or things like that I could do it along with. But if I'm short on time, like for your purposes of increasing that, cognitive endurance, 1 to 3 rounds would probably be your sweet spot and this style.
So 30 breaths, 30 to 50, depending on once I start feeling it, then 10 hard breaths, then hold as long as I can, then exhale, hold again.
Yep.
That's it.
And like what we'll do now is we're going to real quick do 2 rounds, but we're going to do them back to back. And the next round, you're going to try to go a little bit deeper than you went. So don't raise your hand until you feel something that you didn't feel the first round.
Okay.
Right? Or it's an amplified version of that feeling. Then I want you to raise your hand. Same thing on the next round. We're not going to really pause in between them unless there's an issue that you would like help troubleshooting.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And we'll do 2 back to back. So this could also be like a recording that you can use and kind of go to. Ready?
Okay. Ready.
All right. So I'll be looking for your hand. Otherwise, I'll kind of talk you through it and we'll do it together.
Okay.
So jaws relaxed. And this one, I'd like the inhale. I sort of teach it at the beginning where it's this labored process. And it's very hard because if I don't, people tend to breathe way too shallow. They kind of, and then they don't feel it enough.
Yeah.
Over time, you can do this in a way where the inhale feels amazing and the exhale feels amazing. And it doesn't need to be like, where everything's tight and forced and tense. So I want you to have that in your mind where if you want to experiment with, if you're like, okay, I can be relaxed and feel an inhale that is really enriching and feels great, and still gets all that air into me, but is not creating tension in order for me to do it, that's something you can play with too. And then you find that as you connect the breaths, that's also like a flow state practice. You ready?
Okay. So am I not really exhaling too much? Am I trying to keep it inside, or is that kind of it?
Imagine a meter that's like, okay, so you just think 100% in, and to be cliche, sometimes you 110% in, like more than you ever really inhale.
Yeah.
But then as you're exhaling, it's a relax, just letting the breath fall away. And as soon as you get to that like 30% mark, you go into the next one.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Mouth open wide. Let's go. Oh, you know what we'll do? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can get us a track going too. Okay. This will enhance the experience. You'll like it. Get some music going for you. I play this sometimes during like decade and a days and stuff while we'll do it at the beach. Man, you do this at the beach in the morning. Like every time Carrie and I go to the beach and start the day with this, we're like, why the fuck don't we do this every day? Yeah. It feels so great. You're just breathing fresh air in the sun doing this. It's amazing.
In the sand.
Yeah, in the sand.
Is the beach pretty close to you guys?
Yeah, it's 5 minutes away.
Wow. Living the dream.
Yeah, it's great. It still is like, I mean, we all have the same things. There's always so much work to do and stuff. It's like, okay, get some tunes going. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
All right. Ready? And you can kind of sync up your breathing with the music.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Good. Stay focused. Keep them connected. Cyclical. There's no beginning. There's no end. 100% in, 30% out. You're going to go deeper than you went the first round, and only then do you raise your hand. Good. As you open your mouth, imagine yourself being breathed. Imagine that oxygen rushing into the lower part of your belly, expanding your belly 360 degrees. You got to go deep. You got to expend energy to create energy. Let's go. Only when you feel something that you haven't yet felt do you raise your hand. How you doing, Sulaiman? Good. When you get there, you raise your hand. If not, you keep going. Last 10, load up, pick up the pace, go deeper. Last 3. All the way in. And release and hold. Hold as long as you possibly can. Stay relaxed. No wasted energy. Just chill. Hold as long as you can, but you can't hold any longer. You exhale, and with empty lungs, hold until you're on the brink of not being able to push it anymore. Hold. Then when you need, you take the biggest, deepest breath you've ever taken, and you lock it in. All the way in, all the way in, all the way in, all the way in. More. Good. Mouth closed, tongue to the roof of your mouth. Squeeze every muscle in your body. Ascend that Kundalini energy up from your root chakra to the top of your head. Every muscle in your body, from your hands to the face to your glutes, and your feet should be flexed. Squeeze, send that energy up. Eyes closed, look to your third eye. Send it there. Send your attention there. Send your energy there. Squeeze harder. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let it go. Same thing, one more round. Get ready. Here we go. You know the drill. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I want your focus in your belly, and I want you to see that belly moving, expanding to 100%, and then receding toward your spine. Focus on that movement in the belly. Let's go. We're going to go deeper than you've ever gone this round. Only when you get there do you raise your hand. Less time between the exhale and the inhale. Pick up the pace. More in, less out. Good, pick it up. Really go for it. Last 10, load up, pick up the pace, let's go. Last 5, load up. All the way in. release and hold. All the way in. Empty your lungs, relax, and hold. With lungs empty, release all tension in your body. Relax your face, relax your belly, relax your shoulders and arms, and hold. Whether it's 30 seconds from now or 2 minutes from now, when you feel like you need to breathe, then you empty your lungs with the hiss and hold longer. Good. Challenge yourself here. Hold. Mouth closed. Hold. Hold. You got this. Hold longer. 3, 2, 1. Big deep breath in as much as you can take in. Lock it in. Mouth closed, tongue to the roof of your mouth, squeeze, pull the belly in, flex the abdomen, ascend the energy up from the Kegels, the root chakra. See it, visualize it, traveling up the Kundalini through the throat to the top of the head with your eyes closed. Look to your third eye with your eyes closed, send the energy there, squeeze harder. I want you to flex every muscle in your body as hard as you've ever flexed them and send that energy up. Squeeze, go for it. 3, 2, 1. Now relax. How do you feel?
I'm on fire. That's how I feel. So if I do this in the morning, I would be on fire for my deep work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of high performers, not a lot of high performers. All right, so realistically, mostly only athletes do 2 a days. But having movement, and this could be included in movement, twice a day. You know, in the morning and then sometime in the afternoon is like as a rejuvenative practice, right?
There's no harm in doing this. It's not having some kind of toll. This is not taking a toll on your body.
No, I mean, what you're doing is you're actually driving down blood oxygen saturation temporarily, right? It's kind of complex in the body, but essentially, like when we drive CO2 levels up, we dissociate oxygen, we release oxygen from hemoglobin, and it's able to be utilized, right? So this practice, the same way that exercise short-term drives down blood oxygen saturation, this practice does that short-term, but long-term, you get a benefit of increased blood oxygen saturation, improved mitochondrial efficiency, and energy production. So I use it as a tool. I don't do it every day.
I can do it every day, though, right? Without any.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I did it every day for a long time.
Okay.
And it's these are tools, right, that you can cycle in and move around as needed.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about what you felt during that experience.
Lightheaded, like body sensations were kind of lightheaded. My entire body was tingling. I definitely had to dig deep. So I don't have the, because I'm not used to doing it and digging so deep with breath, I had to dig deep in the third one. Just kind of beyond my comfort level.
It's hard to get yourself to keep going, right?
Yeah, for sure. But post, like right now, I'm in peak cognitive state right now. Yeah. I feel like right now, if I go and do some deep work, I'll knock it out of the park. So
let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm going to do this in the mornings, pre-deep work.
Yeah.
Right?
You can. You know, you can test it. You can find what works best for you based on that day and what you need to do, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Was that a little bit of what you were looking for?
Yeah, this is amazing. So this will definitely make the difference in terms of adding those few hours. So I think when I peak at 4 or 5 hours, I do this, I can get a few hours in. My
Yeah.
goal is, my sweet spot is 6 to 8 hours. I mean, I definitely hits, I mean, there are even days I do 9 hours of deep work, right? But it's not the standard. The standard is about 4 to 5 is where I end up. But my goal is 6 to 8. If I do 6 to 8 daily, I'm in a pretty good place. So.
Yeah. And what you're doing right now is better than most people, right?
Yeah.
Most people do no deep work.
Yeah, but we are here to work with Mr. De Clementi, not to be better than most people, but to be super performer, right?
Just to
best in the world.
To keep unlocking more of that potential. And I think this is a tool that will help you do that. And I think this was the most important thing. I'll tell you what, let me look over, what was the main thing that you wanted me to look at with your email here?
So the blood glucose, you had told me to do the
yes. Okay. So let me just take a quick look then. Oh, you're good, man. Your readings are great.
They're good. Okay.
Yeah. It's optimal. Yeah, blood glucose is fantastic. Some of the best I've seen.
Okay, perfect. So is there a 24/7 glucose monitor you recommend?
No.
You don't? Okay.
Knowing what we know about human biology and how much it's impacted by frequencies, I'm very hesitant to put a machine in anyone's body and tell them to do that.
Okay.
You know, and like, if you had an issue, maybe.
Yeah.
But with what we're seeing here, there's nothing that even stands out as a problematic reading. Your blood glucose is exemplary.
Okay.
You know, why put a machine in there that the mere presence of that machine could cause insulin insensitivity?
I see. Got it.
You know, your body's perfect the way it is. We've got what we need. You've got the tools. Let's plug in some of these things and kind of keep crushing it.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Sulaiman.
Hey, who was that? Was that Carrie?
Carrie
jumped on. Where do I hear you? Are you on the call?
I'm in Montana. I've been listening ever so quietly.
What's going on?
No, I'm kidding. I just popped on.
Carrie, Sulaiman just crushed his first breathwork sessions.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
You guys did it together?
Yes.
Heck
Anthony led me through it.
How you feeling now? You're looking
amazing.
good.
Yeah.
Man, well, awesome. And are you going to use Zoom? I have a call in like 2 minutes.
We're jumping off. Sulaiman, I'll get you the recording. You got your next call booked?
No, I don't.
Book your next call. I'll render the recording and send it over to you. And then Carrie, I'll shoot you a text.
Okay. Good to see you, Sulaiman.
Okay, likewise.